Hello and welcome to this little podcast, the Seaside Farm. I am Brit, living on a little sheep farm on the island Frøya in the middle of Norway. Our little farm is right by the sea, and we just love our little place on this bird. My podcast is about my passion of knitting, my love of wool and yarn from the sheep. You will get to know our sheep and our work with them throughout the different seasons. Our sheep are very robust breed or race, you can see, and can be outside the whole year. Much because we not have much snow and cold weather. You will also get to know several animals on our farm, like this cool goat, hen, rabbit, goose, cat, dog. I will also take you with me on our sailboat Lisa, and we sail around Frøya and the coast of Norway. We love to sail with our boat, and we always have good times when we are on the sea. And my knitting always is with me, on the farm, on my boat, and on my hitchhiking in the nature. I love to knit and see the knitting slowly grow into a beautiful project for me, my family, and my friends. I hope you will join me in my little world of knitting, the farm, and my life that I will show you on my little podcast here. Again, a warm welcome to everyone, and I hope you will enjoy the time with me. Hello and a very warm welcome to a new episode in the Seaside Farm. This is my episode 2 in English speaking podcast. My name is Brit and I come from a little island in Norway called Frøya. In this podcast you will hear about my passion of knitting and yarn, and I will take you with me on my farm to see some of our animals that I show you in the start of this movie. And sometimes I take you with me on the little boat we have. But no, it will most will be about knitting. I'm not very confident in speaking English, but I try my best, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to speak of when I speak to you. First of all, I will thank you so much for all the comments and feedback from you from the first episode I lay out. It makes me so glad to reach out everybody in this way, and this is possible to share our joy of knitting together. In this strange time when almost the whole world is closed and has stopped a little while, it is extra nice to be able to reach each other through social media. Because of the corona crisis, I'm at home and have home office like much of you out there. Since I work at the music school with the youngest students, it's have been a lot of work to make motivations movie for them all, and it have take such a time and energy to do that work. The school in Norway has slowly started to open, but not the music school. So I have to keep making these little music lessons for my students. Perhaps it will open to some meeting outdoors. I hope. I really hope. My students are at 6 and 7 years old, and it's not a very good situation to play and have fun with music in a little skärm, also in the little telephone or iPhone or iPad, I think. I will show you my little coffee cup. It is a ram you see here. It's made of a local ceramic artist, and it's great. I think it's great, and it's very, very nice and fun to have when you have this sort of sheep in your farm, in our farm. And the last time I told you about my yarn, that I have got my own yarn from my own sheep. I got 17 kilos, and now I only have 700 gram left. It's amazing. It's I don't believe it. And it's so fantastic to think about the yarn. It's all over the world right now. I didn't think it will sell out so fast. Oh, and I'm so grateful and also a little shocked that that happened. During that time, I had to change the name of the yarn. And in the first time, I called it VIllUll, and I told you about that in the first episode. But it showed that it was too similar with a yarn shop in Norway called Brit. So I have to change my name in order, and in conversation with the shop owner, I agree that I could change the name. So the name is now VIllUll, and I also changed the logo to a little other. You see, it's a happy sheep. There is jumping over a flower, lots of flower in pink. And my friend Karina has made the old logo with the VIllUll. She has also made this logo with VIllUll. And we all agree that is more similar to my personality. That is like a flower power sheep, like a flower power lady, as I am. But I think it was so nice, the new one. And here is the last yarn I will sending out to some of you. If you write the comments under this episode, I will give it to some of you. I shall tell about longer in the episode. Okay, but here also the VIllUll yarn, and I started the last time I showed you. I started with the Fern and feather sweater of Jennifer Stengas, and here you see it finished. It was amazing to knit in our own yarn, and I just love how the color of this gray yarn play almost like the wool in the sheep. The gray here you see is semi-colors, like it should be color in different ways. I needed incredible fast to get ready for the Teaparty in Orkanger. There is it was a finally evening for the knitting retreat that Patricia organized. Patricia in Knittography. She has her own podcast, and she organized a big retreat here in Trondelag with a lot of famous designers and podcasters all over the whole world. If you see some of the podcast, you will see me jumping around singing in this weather in many different podcasts. I was responsible for the sing-along to the Teaparty, and I used many Norwegian famous folk song and children's song, and take a theme with knitting. I shall link to the podcast episode under this episode, so you can go and watch some of the very nice movie from Norway. They have make all of them. Yes, but I am very, very satisfied with my Fern and Feather jumper, and I have used it very, very much, a lot. It's very perfect for the weather here in Frøya just now in this spring. So yes, I feel I go with my own sheep right to my breast. The next project I cast on with my own yarn was the catty cap. I love the hats from the Shetland's Wool Festival, and they make a new hat for every year's festival. And this year's hat was catty cap, design of Vilma Melkomsen, and of course I knit it in my own yarn. I have a little dark brown from that is natural from the wild sheep, the VIllUll, but I have not very much of this yarn, but little one to make a contrast in some, like this Fern and Feather and like this hat. I also use Reimafinull for in Shetland you have in Far Isle very much color, you know, and I decided to use the natural color in this hat. Yes, I in the rib I knit in 2.5mm knitting sticks, and the other in 3.5, because I wanted a little more big, little more baggy hat, and just tet in till. I don't want it so small. I want it bigger, and I was very satisfied. It's a great big good hat, and it hold the wind outside my head and my ear, so it's okay to walk in the fields around my farm, especially in this time when it's windy almost all day. Every day and all day. But here is and Catty has made a beautiful design, I think. I have also knit other hats from the Shetland Wool Festival, like the Babley hat of Donna Smith. You can see I'm hooked on knitting the Babley hat. I have knit a lot of them, and my whole family has one, I think. I have with me some of them, and here is one for me, a pink one, and here is one crazy I have knit in it's very, very big, and it have a crazy color. I knit this after I was hit by a car. It wasn't serious, but just a little on my side here, and I think if I knit a hat that I will be well visible, and it will go better to go to the road with like this hat. I even knit with a reflex yarn. The sheep is in the reflex yarn, so I hope the car will see me when I walk at the road. But all of this Babley hat I have knit, it have been in leftover yarns and in yarn that not was suggested in the pattern. So I think I will knit a luxury Babley hat in my own yarn. So now I have this one, and it is much nicer than the other one. And this will be a birthday present from my husband. He has birthday now in May, and like this weather now, I think we have to have wool on our head long time. But it's also a very good hat when we are at the sea in our boat. But it was quite nice. And it fit me too. I like this sheep Donna Smith has designed it. And like this, it's perhaps not so good to see, but you see the light stars here. I can see the stars in the hat. You see them. So, Biblay hat, it's fun to knit. If you not have knit them before, so go in the Ravelry and seek the Biblay hat and knit your one yourself. And the last one I have knit from the Shetland Wool Festival was the last year's hat. And I have to see where I lay it. That was the Roadside Benny of Oliver Henry and Sandra Manson. This motif could have been from Frøya. If you see the sheep here with this, like the wheel service and the boat, and how I have used to take the color that you can see here in Frøya. I love the ending of the hat that is made with this Roadside Benny. And also, where is my other... There it is. Sorry. And like this in the cat's cap. A little star you see up there, and here more like a flower perhaps, but that to the Christ in such a beautiful ending. It's so nice, and that is perhaps the typical of Fair Island, I think, to do like this in the color work. Very, very nice. Since my yarn now has been shipped around Norway and the whole world, a lot of nice projects have been making and been completed. Like Kia in Kia's Bod, she is from Sweden. She has designed her own vest. And Linda with the Instagram konto Linda Strick has made the manusweater of Isabel Kramer. She showed me how good Rauma Finull can be used with my VIllUll, and that's inspired me to use that in the cat's cap that you have seen. And I will also show you a pair of mittens that Reidun from Trondheim has knit. So it makes me so happy to see my yarn turn into this nice project. And it's so inspired for me to see that people are use it and that people make happy things in this world. So I have made a little movie with the project of some of the knittings I am talking about. Now I only look forward to sorting wool from our sheep this summer and sending to Selby Spinnery for a new yarn. I know it will take a lot of time, at least 1 year, I think. But no, I know what I get, and I can look forward to get my own yarn, and perhaps some of you then will buy it from me. We do not earn anything from sorting and sending the little rare wool, but by doing this process, we are preserving an important cultural work, and it makes me extra happy that the yarn becomes so beautiful, wonderful. On this occasion, we have set up a Patreon account. Here you will have a penalty to support our work and caring for the wool of the sheep breed and turning into the yarn. You will become a small VIllUll sponsor and own a small sheep on our farm. So take a look at our Patreon and you will see more of what I'm talking about there. As I told you, I have this 100-gram left for you, and I will draw a winner if you write a comment under this episode. It has been fun to know where you all come from, what country, what place, so you can write about that and tell me that. So perhaps some of you will be happy and win 100 gram of VIllUll. When I was at the Teaparty at Strikkenerd, we met, of course, a lot of designers and podcasters too, from the whole world. One of them was Janet Birch from Shetland. And because I will love to go to Shetland on the knitting festival or with my boat, my husband and me has a big dream to sail over to Shetland, but not this year. We have to wait both to go in the festival or to go to a boat trip with my sailboat. That Corona year, we have to stay at home like this. This is how it is. But I was very lucky to meet all of the designers and podcasters in the Teaparty. It was a lot of fun to make connection with others. But Janet Birch, she is a Shetland knitter and knitwear designer and tutor. She is creating unique patterns and garments as well as teaching others at the technique of Fair Island. And she has been a tutor and volunteer at the Shetland Wool Week since 2016, I think. And of course, because as I already told you, I would love to go to this festival. Therefore, I was extra nice to be able to say hello to her. It was exciting to see how she used the traditional knit belt, and maybe there is just such a class I have to attend when I come there. I will see. Before I go to the Teaparty in Strikkenerd, I had decided to knit some things of the designer who were visiting Norway. And the first design I decided to knit was of Janet Budge. And I choose to knit a Bonhouse gift bag. And this pattern you will find in this book I have here. It calls Far Isle Design from Shetland's Knitters. And here I find the little one-house knit gift bag. There is writing that it is Janet's mom, Janet Birch, who used this pattern design in joke of sweater or jacket. And Janet has take this and use it in this little gift bag. And I decided to play with the blue color in different ways, and my favorite color at contrast down and up in the orange color, you see. We are not we are familiar to knit with color pattern in Norway and Scandinavia, but the different, I think, it in Fair Island you have the color, much more color in the pattern, and we change the color here only in this rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 color only in this rows, and that is much more than I do in the Norwegian color knitting, I think. Also, it is a perfect project for leftover yarn. You not use very much in this little changing in the color. And it was a very fun knitting, and it was very fun to show Janet Birch what I am knitting, and I also see some of her Bonehouse knit bags when we met. And I especially love the describe who it making with in the tree on this side, so it goes naturally, the decrease, like middle of this tree. It's so nice. And I told you exactly the same of the hat, but have decreased like you get this nice star, like this catty cap. Beautiful and very, very good design, I think. When I was a young girl, I always have loved to knit in colorful colors. It not see like this in this one my sweater here, but the most of the knitting it's very colorful when it's talk about me. And when I was a little girl, I always knit a lot of hats in a lot of color, and in crazy color too. Unfortunately, we have not any of them left, and often I think of my stepfather. He was a tough guy. He dared to use them, except me. So it's sad that we have no one left. So I could show you some of my crazy hat from my teenage. But now this little bag. I haven't find out yet what I can use it for. Now it's just a decoration here on my piano. I also, but I could talk about a little more about this book. In this book you find the pattern that is easy or difficult, and it's a very plenty different pattern. This little bag, and you have mittens and sweater and hats, and you always have a shawl. Yes, it's a shawl inside here, but I shall show you a nice, we call this jumper. Here you see, and this jumper Janet Birch also wear when we met in this color. And I love to knit exactly this one, I think. So if you not have this book, I recommend it. You can find the address at Janet Birch in Ravelry side, I think. She also have one pattern on her Ravelry side you can buy alone. And I buy the John packet when we met. I have to go down here. It's a Clicky Mine coal, and you see it here. And I bought just this color of the yarn. I not started yet, but I am thinking to start very soon. because this coal it will be very good to have in this season in spring and summer, because it's not so tight in your neck. Yes, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it will be a good thing to wear now in these days. So it's my next project of Janet Birch. As I told you, you can buy this pattern on Ravelry. Janet have make one podcast episode, so if you want to be known better to Janet, you can go to her podcast episode that I link down here. And Brit had an interview with her when she met in the Teaparty in episode, I think, 7, 2020. That you also can see to get better know with the designer and knitter Janet Budge from Shetland. And I also recommended the Fruity Knittings episode from the Shetland Wool Festival. I love it all. And one day I shall go over to Shetland and be there with Janet, I hope, and we will meet again. And I will love to go to the knitting festival. Perhaps I met some of you that looking at me right now. Yes, then I have hacked my and try to speak me through this English episode. I think if I do it more often, perhaps it will be easier to do it. I is all time, where is my word and the word of this and the word of that to say to you in English. It's very difficult when you never talk English to somebody to the day. So I sorry that it's here a little very Norwich English when I speaking. So it is. But I love to reach out of you, and I been so glad to all the comments I get at the first. So it's yeah, I think I have to jump out and try it again. But now it's time to end this episode. I'm thinking I'll come a little faster to the next episode, and I already decided the theme. The theme is going to be rainbow knit. If you have followed the Norwegian podcaster my friend Brit Arnhild, you will have heard she told you about our rainbow knit. And in the next episode, I will show you all of my rainbow color knittings project. As I told you, I love to knit colorfully color, and it's time to show you what I am doing most of the time. I say thank you for joining me in this episode of the Seaside Farm. I hope you have enjoyed sometimes hanging around with me and my knitting. In the end, you will find some picture from the spring season here from the Seaside Farm with all the little beautiful lamb that have coming, and I will show you some spring time feeling picture from my Iceland. If you want to support me or our farm with our work to take care of wool from our sheep and turn it into yarn, you have the opportunity to do it through Patreon, and I thank you very much for all of you that is doing that. And you will find the link down under this episode. You can also support me with a cup. You can also support me with a coffee with Ko-fi. We are so grateful to everyone who will helping us further with effort or preserve our special sheep breed. Finally, you will hear me singing the Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. And this time I will sing it in the Norwegian way, with a Norwegian text. And with that, I wish you a good days right where you live, and I send a big hug out to the world to everyone and take care. We're knitting again and I see you all. Goodbye.
igjen.